morning, everyone. I guess yep, I am turned on, so that's great. It's a joy to welcome you all here today to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Harford County. Someday we need to change that name. We acknowledge that our building is situated on the native lands of the Susquehannock people, and we hope to move beyond acknowledgement to action that promotes greater understanding of Indigenous peoples' concerns and rights. Leading the service with me today is Laura Bianca Pruitt, right here, and our music director, Brenna Kupferman. We gather each Sunday on site and online to share in life's meaning, to grow in care and community, and to open our hearts and minds to the sacred truth known by many names. We gather to restore the balance of our spirit, to celebrate the joys of life and find strength to meet our sorrows, and in the earliest meaning of the word worship, to consider ideas that are worthy of our time and our attention. Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition that values diversity and embraces the wisdom of all faiths. We use science, reason, and the gifts of the Spirit to explore life's mystery and meaning. And in this tradition, we know that people need not think alike to love alike. So whatever your heritage and however your history and whomever you love, you are welcome here today. Now may the sound of our bell and the words and music of our prelude center us as we enter into a time of worship.
Life is wasted time. Look inside your heart and I'll look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk the line and try to see, falling behind and what could be. Ooh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love? I keep thinking of words are chanting, and we're just hanging on, facing our fear and standing out there alone. And it's real to me. There must be someone who's feeling for me. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk blind and try to see, falling behind in what could be. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I keep thinking of? I will wait for it. I'm not too late for it. Until then, I'll sing my song to cheer the night alone. Could light the night up with my soul on fire. I could make the sunshine from pure desire. Oh, let me feel that love come over me. Oh, let me feel how strong it could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I keep thinking of? Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. I keep thinking of.
We light the chalice flame to remind us love is at the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. And when the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. There you go. We have come into this room of hope where our hearts and minds are open to the future. We've come into this room of justice where we set aside our fear to name freely every oppression. We've come into this room of love where we know that no lives are insignificant. We have come into this room of song where we unite our voices in the sometimes somber and often beautiful melodies of life. Please rise and body your spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 305, and Brenna is going to be playing it on the piano. You'll notice that the words are a little different than in your hymnal, and this is for a reason, which you'll find out later. But the new lyrics are going to be on the monitor, so you can follow along.
The fields love to dress in all during the springtime. De colores, the birds have their clothing that comes every season. De colores, the rainbow is vested across the blue sky. De colores, and so must all love be of every bright color to make my heart cry. De colores, and so must all love be of every bright color to make my heart cry. De colores, we witness the sun up on clear and bright mornings. De colores, the sun gives these treasures God's light to his children. De colores, the diamond will sparkle when brought to the light. De colores, and so must all love be of every bright color to make my heart cry. De colores, and so must all love be of every bright color to make my heart cry. Sings a rooster with his kiri, 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 kiri. And the clock hen with her cara, 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 cara. And the bay chicks with their pio, 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 pee. De colores, and so must all love me of every bright color to make my heart cry. De colores, and so must all love me of every bright color to make my heart cry. De colores, se vistan los campos en la primavera. De colores son los paraísos que vienen de afuera. De colores es el arco iris que vamos a lucir. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí.
Come when the nights are bright with stars, or come when the moon is mellow. Come when the sun his golden bars drops on the hayfield yellow. Come in the twilight, soft and gray, or come in the night and come in the day. Come, O love, when you may, and you are welcome, welcome. You are sweet, O love, dear love, you are soft as the nesting dove. Come to my heart and bring it to rest, well, as the bird flies home to its welcome nest. Come when my heart is full of grief, or when my heart is merry. Come with the falling of the leaf, or with the reddening cherry. Come when the year's first blossom blows. Come when the summer gleams and glows. Come with the winter's drifting snows. And you are welcome, welcome.
Okay, this is Time for All Ages. Very exciting because some youth are back in faith formation and others are here in the sanctuary. So this is titled, We Are the Shepherds, and it was written by Erica Hewitt. Jesus was a teacher long ago of love and compassion. When Jesus spoke to his followers, it was often about how to share more, love more, and forgive more. Jesus also talked a lot about the great unfolding mystery named love. He called it God the way many other people do. Sometimes Jesus' followers needed help to understand his teachings, so he told stories to help them understand. Well, we call those parables. So this is one of the parables that Jesus told his followers. It's about a shepherd. Can anyone tell me what a shepherd is? Feel free to call it out. Yes, it's somebody who cares for sheep, who makes sure their bellies are full and that they're safe from predators, because a lot of critters would hurt sheep if they could. So in the days when Jesus told this story, a shepherd wouldn't have had a fancy pen or a corral for her sheep. There was no fence to create a big space for her flock. So instead, she would have had to take her sheep out into the hills to fill their bellies. So in this parable, the shepherd didn't have just 1 or 4 or 10 sheep. Shepherd had 100 sheep. Could you imagine how loud and smelly it would be if there were 100 sheep in here in the sanctuary? Now, I don't have 100 sheep, but what I do have to help demonstrate a little bit today, as Rainey has kindly allowed me to borrow, are her deer and reindeer collection. And there are quite a few of them, and I'm going to put them up here. And you'll see we don't have quite 100, we have quite a few. Hang out on the... Yeah, they're just going to have to go everywhere. Some might have to go on the floor. There are so many, that's right. Fall on each other. That's just going to be how it has to be. So we're going to pretend that these are the sheep today. No, you don't bring that one up yet. There's about 20 some reindeer here. I've lost count, but Rainey could tell you all of them, and they all have different names and different personalities. Some of the ones that even seem on the surface like they look alike are not alike, because you can tell that, like, oh, this one has a little bit of a floppy neck, or those ones wear necklaces. But anyway, so we're going to pretend that we are the deer shepherds. So at the beginning of each day, the shepherd took all 100 sheep to the hills of green grass and counted to make sure they were all there. And at the end of the day, he
brought them home again, counting to make sure that all 100 sheep had come home. The shepherd came home one night, counted her sheep, and saw only 99 instead of 100. So she counted again to make sure, and then again. And even though it was cold and dark, then there were critters in the hills that might hurt a shepherd too, she left the 99 sheep who were safe at home and went out to find the lost sheep who was in danger. Wonder where that lost sheep is in our sanctuary. I think I might know. But I'm going to go find it. So the shepherd found the lost sheep. Yay! So when Jesus told his parable to his followers, he was trying to tell them two things. First, that the great unfolding mystery that we call love, and that some call God, loves each of us so much that love will always, always go to those who are left behind or in danger. Second, we understand ourselves to be part of the great unfolding mystery called love. Most of us who are Unitarian Universalists want to be just like that great unfolding mystery. We want to be love's partner and its helper. That means we are the shepherd. When everyone else is safe, we're called to notice the few who are in danger and to go out into the cold and dark to be with them. Love doesn't rest and wait. Love, in the form of the shepherd, leaves comfort behind to be a helper.
In this worship service that invites us to lean even more deeply into our mission as you use, we renew our commitment as a community to respond out of deep care for one another. Now's the time to briefly share a joy or a sorrow, a gratitude, something that you're holding deeply within your heart this morning. If you're on site in the sanctuary, please come forward and you'll speak into that microphone and Laura will light a candle for you. And if you are online, please leave what you'd like to share in the chat and Brenna will share it and we'll light a candle for you as well. A few gentle reminders. This is not a time for announcements or politics. Please say your first name and please share from your heart, from your own experience. And if you're sharing for someone else, just make sure that you have their permission to do so. Would anybody like to share this morning? Each Sunday, we receive an offering to support the mission of this congregation. Here, we intentionally welcome the pluralism of theological beliefs, and we seek to learn from each other. We care for those within this fellowship, and we extend our care into the wider community through actions for love and for justice, which, no matter how small, work towards the transformation of our world. Your contributions allow us to reach all who seek a life-affirming message of love and in hope. If you're online, click the link in the Zoom chat to contribute, and if you're on site, you can place a donation in the basket, or you can use this is the one time you can use your phone in here, to hit the donate link on uufhc.net, or you can go on the fellowship app if you've downloaded that to your phone. Whatever method of giving that you choose, your generosity does help us to grow a healthier, more joyful UU community, and in keeping with our religious heritage, to draw that circle of love just a little bit wider. Thank you.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love.
Anybody need this?
There is a love holding all.
Thank you, Lord.
I rest in this love.
Thank you.
There is a love holding you. There
in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. If I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, if I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, but have not love, I gain nothing. I gain nothing.
Let's make a little room here. There you go.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Can everyone hear me? Okay. That song sang the first three verses of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 from the Christian Testament. And now I'm going to read the rest of the chapter, which is verses 4 through 13. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child.
When I became an adult, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. Okay, so this past June at General Assembly, delegates voted and passed an update to Article 2 of the Unitarian Universalist Association bylaws with a new shared values statement. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant, congregation to congregation, and through our association, to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these shared values are interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. And then the bylaws go into detail about those six shared values. So these past few years, as discussions about the new values statement were ongoing, the UUA faced a lot of questions from individuals about what exactly they meant by the meaning of love. What is love? In our everyday English, we use the same word, love, to describe lots of different kinds of love. I love ice cream. I love living in Bel Air. I love my husband. Yet, we know that we love ice cream in a different way than we love our hometown or our spouse or partner. And even the way that we love our partners changes over time. In the case of me and Mike, we started out as friends 14 and a half years ago, then became boyfriend-girlfriend, then engaged, then got married. Yesterday, we celebrated our 11th wedding anniversary. Yay! And all that time, hi Mike, thanks for being in the back. And I hope you're not embarrassed that I included you. But in all that time, our love has grown in new ways as we became parents to Rainey and have grown friendships into chosen family. And since we first met, our love has matured and become long-standing. While we only use one word to mean love, the ancient Greeks used 6 different words for loving people. So I'm going to state them in no particular order. One is philautia, meaning self-love. The Greeks further divided this love into positive, self-compassion, and negative, self-obsessed love. 2, philia, means affectionate regard, friendship, usually between equals. So when we say that Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love, that's what its name literally means, Philia Adelphos. Eros, number 3, eros, means love, mostly of the sexual passion. The modern Greek word erotus means intimate love. Eros is the name of the Greek god that we also know in Latin as Cupid. Number 4 is storge, which means familial love, affection, and especially of parents and children. 5 is xenia, which is an ancient Greek concept of hospitality, guest friendship, or ritualized friendship. And this is the same root word used in xenophilic and xenophobic. And finally, agape, which means unconditional love, charity, the love of God for person and of person for God. Agape is used in ancient texts to denote unconditional love, including our reading from and song from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It was also used to refer to a love feast, and it's an altruistic kind of love. So, what kind of love did the UUA, Article 2 Study Commission, think we should place at the center? Well, fortunately, they told us on their frequently asked questions webpage. What is the definition of love that you're using here? We mean the type of love known as agape. It is the selfless love of the neighbor, the friend, and even the enemy. It asks for nothing in return. More than a noun, love is a verb.
It is creating justice. It is transforming our world. It is being generous of our spirit and resources. It is knowing we are all interdependent. It is upholding everyone's dignity and worthiness. It is celebrating our many differences. It is deeds, not creeds. So when I first read this, I absolutely lit up because I was very familiar with the word agape and the concept of agape love, because I grew up Roman Catholic, and then in my teens and young adulthood years, I became a Methodist, and for a few years was an evangelical Christian. So while I have a more expansive view of spirituality and personal theology today that goes beyond mainstream Christianity, my roots come from those traditions and still greatly shape who I am today. And so a big reason for that is something that happened when I was a teenager. I was invited by a good friend named Glenn, who I later dated, but obviously did not marry, to go on a 3-day-long weekend retreat called Chrysalis. It was an ecumenical Christian retreat, which means that you didn't have to be a particular denomination. You could be Methodist, you could be Baptist, you could be Catholic, and you could go. But anyway, so it's called Chrysalis because it alludes to the idea of transformation into a butterfly, hence the butterfly dress today that I'm wearing. So there were a lot of different theological talks, including additional scriptures that I shared today in the Time for All Ages. And there were also a lot of singing and a lot of small group activities. But ultimately, the main point of that retreat was for the team of volunteers to show the attendees, who were called caterpillars, what agape love could look like. And some big demonstrations of this, which are normally kept as surprises, but I'm going to share them because I think or at least the parts that were very powerful to me. But some of these things included, one, lots of handwritten letters, not just from people involved in the community, but from my close family and friends and favorite high school teachers that Glenn had gathered for me as my sponsor. So we talk about Hazel being the postcard queen. We'll come back to that. But yeah, it was very powerful that all these people wrote me letters that I didn't know, and that Glenn had gathered together all these letters of people I did know who took time to tell me how much I meant to them. Number 2, placemats that Glenn and his mom made for me, including pictures that were collected from family and friends, which back then was a lot harder because we didn't have social media. So he couldn't just right-click save on Facebook or any other site. He actually had to ask people for pictures. Number 3 was a huge agape feast, which was put on by community volunteers, which had a huge table of hors d'oeuvres and desserts. That was the largest I have ever seen, bigger than any party or wedding reception that I've ever attended. And number 4, something that really hit me on a spiritual level was that people in the community signed up to pray in 30-minute shifts for the entire 72-hour weekend, including the middle of the night. So people would literally get up in the middle of the night and pray for everyone that was attending the weekend and the retreat itself. And it still remains. This is 19 years ago I went on this retreat, and it still remains one of the greatest outpourings of love I've experienced in my life. And it really nailed home for me what unconditional love truly is, not just from family and friends, but from complete strangers. But what's even cooler than that, actually going on this retreat, is then being able to give back by serving on future retreats. And so I was able to show agape love to caterpillars and other people volunteering on the retreats, and I did that for about 10 years. There's a few ways you can do that. Includes being on what's called the inside team. That's basically like the people physically there on the retreat leading and doing things and teaching, supporting, or on the outside team, which included things like sponsoring someone to go on the weekend like Glenn did, because he basically it was free. It's free. It was free as a caterpillar, but the sponsor paid for the room and board and things, like the fee. But also being behind the scenes, like doing baking and cooking for that big agape feast, and set up and clean up for other events. But most importantly, being on the other side is being there for not just that weekend or organized, retreat functions, but being there for people in the ups and downs in the rest of life. And ultimately, that's the true thing that stuck with me, was the friendships, the informal mentorships that occurred between me and a few key adults, but also other teens and their key adults. And a lot of teens that went on these retreats came from hard circumstances, and now they left with family that loves them no matter what. And when I say no matter what, I mean no matter what, because these same people know that I no longer believe certain things about Christian dogma, and yet they still are unwavering in love and support. I've taught them a lot about Unitarian Universalism too. But anyway, I still remember something that happened the first time I was a part of an Inside Team of Weekend. Because at the end, we ask, the caterpillars, become a chrysalis and transform into a butterfly. But we ask these new butterflies, what was the most important thing they learned on the weekend? So keep in mind, while this is focused on agape love, it's also very tied into Christian theology. So one teen boy, whose father was a pastor, answered something along the lines of this: I learned that love isn't just in Jesus and in the church, but in all faiths and backgrounds. And I remember being completely shocked at the time, because I was like, how did he get that takeaway from this? Because this whole weekend was, seemingly pretty, Jesus-filled. But the reality is that acts of agape love and kindness are available for all of us to give and to receive, regardless of faith or dogma. And I really think of all the people that wrote me those agape letters who were not Christian and probably had no idea what I was actually doing on that weekend. One of them that sticks out to me was a high school teacher. That was one of my favorites. And she sent me a card and just wrote inside, "Congratulations! I hope you have a great weekend." And, it's funny because here I still remember that card. It meant so much to me that she took time to write those two sentences and to give it to Glenn to then ultimately give to me. So the Chrysalis movement, as well as its adult counterpart, the Walk to Emmaus, really taught me how love is at the center. On my initial weekend, I learned what unconditional love was, that it was deeds, not creeds. And then when I served, I learned about how we're all independent on each other and being able to share love. The generosity of that community could not truly be quantified. And when I say that, I mean, there were some wild stories of people giving people cars, people letting others live with them rent free, this true generosity that it was very profound, and obviously in this in big ways and in small ways. So sadly, the Chrysalis community here in Maryland is no more, and the Emmaus community split into two. And one of the reasons for that is because it stood up for justice in affirming LGBTQ plus people, knowing full well that in doing that, it was potentially sacrificing itself. And by doing that, yes, its attendance did drop and various churches pulled out that were previously very involved. So as a congregational community ourselves at UUFHC, we are already doing acts of agape love, similar to what I experienced in Chrysalis. As I mentioned, Hazel the postcard queen, as well as our compassion team, writing letters and sending food to members of the community in need, and our faith formation team, guiding our youth not just at summer camp and on Sunday mornings, but much more beyond that. And our potlucks are a form of agape feast. And I see so much potential for that to continue and to grow. So we should challenge ourselves to also invite other people to our fellowship. That's a very scary thing to say. And I acknowledge that because sometimes it takes sending invitations to many, many different people to get one yes. And yes, all that rejection is scary. The truth is that before Glenn invited me to that retreat, I knew nothing about Chrysalis or Emmaus or any of those ecumenical Christian communities. And there are a lot of people out there that don't know anything about Unitarian Universalism, and they might be interested when they learn a little bit more about it. Acts of agape love are not restricted to a church or a faith community. They are something we should challenge ourselves to grow in all aspects of our lives, as love comes in many forms and in many colors. And on the front of the bulletin is a new flower, heart, graphic created by Sylvia Lantrum of our shared values in a rainbow of colors. So the reason I chose for us to sing the traditional Mexican folk song De Colores this morning with different lyrics is because that English translation is widely used in the Catholic Crucio movement and related communities such as Walk to Emmaus, and is sung frequently throughout those weekends. And yeah, I mean the line, De colores and so must all love be of every bright color to make my heart cry. De colores and so must all love, de colores and so must of all love be every bright color to make my heart cry. You know, really, it's very powerful that love is of so many bright colors. And so may we go, as when we leave today, may we spread our shared values of love being at the center, and of interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice in many bright colors to make our hearts and the hearts of others cry. So now please rise in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn, number 124, Be That Guide.
Be that guide who love sustains, rise above the daily strife, lift on high the good you find, help to heal the hurts of life. Be that helper nothing daunts, doubt a friend or taunt a foe, ever strive for liberty, show the path that life should go. Be that builder trusting good, bitter though the test may be, through all ages they are right, though they build in agony. Be that teacher faith directs, move beyond the old frontier, though the fright and fear that faith be tomorrow's pioneer.
Friends, may the spirit of love be a living flame before you, a guiding star above you, a firm path below you, and a gentle presence behind you today, this week, and always. And now we extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. When all we can see appears to be only cold ashes, love will remain.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and go stealing through the moonlit nights with your lover. Let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's a season. And let your love fly like a bird on the wing. Let your love bind you to all living things, and let your your love shine. And you know what I mean, that's a reason. And there's a reason for the warm, sweet nights. And there's a reason for the candlelight. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you into space and lay you under its loving embrace. Just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back, you can't hold back. Let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's a season. Hey, 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 let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, that's the reason. And let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your love grow with the smallest of things, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's a season, yeah. And let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, it's the reason.
I have a couple announcements this week just to let everybody know. Reverend Jay will be back next week, and she's preaching on Hearing with the Heart. The UUFHC Flea Market is next Saturday, the 24th, so if you have something to donate, well, bring it in this week, just sometime. And you can call the church office to find out what days Nancy's here. Or Nancy, yeah. No, that's Nancy Karwatka. Karen, sorry. And thank you. Then one final announcement. That one's working.
Cindy and I are here representing the Flea team, and we are honoring Russ with a birthday cake today from the Flea team, and we're just so grateful to see him, and happy birthday, Russ. So thanks for all your hard work over all these years.
And Brenna, would you lead us in a rendition of Happy Birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Russ. Happy birthday to you. Time for coffee and fellowship, and if you're a visitor here today, we especially want you to stay. Please enjoy our refreshments and our company. We'd like to